More booze, more bullshit, more butt fucking.
Sure, the three B's.
You gotta be able to rely, Willie.
Hey fellas, welcome to another video. Sorry for the clickbaity title, but here we are. So today we're going to go over the wonderful world of logistics. And with this, to kind of explain it, help explain it, we're going to do the 3Bs process. It's kind of covers like somewhat of a baseline on things that you should consider when building out preparedness or your kit or whatever. The 3Bs is a concept that's been along for a long time. I've known about it for like a decade now. I'm just now getting around to making the video. And we're incorporating that into brain and body. So with this thought experiment, we're just going to start in the middle and then work our way out. So with your brain, obviously, got to take care of your mindset, all the things that entail with that in this sphere that we're in here, with what's going on in the world, what you think of it, how you're dealing with it. And then your body, obviously your physical condition, where you are now and where you could be in the future, what's your standard, and then what's your future standard, and how do you obtain that. And then, so with the other 3Bs, we got beans, bullets, and band-aids. Just general alliteration there. So beans, we got food and water. And then with the food and water, you also have to make branches out of your logistics and how you're going to obtain and acquire food and water now and then, or later, now and later. How are you going to obtain water now while you're in the field or while you're in your home doing whatever you're doing in this situation? And then how are you going to obtain it down the road further on? That could be a week from now, that could be 5 years from now, whatever your perceived situation would be. And you do the same thing with food, and then bullets come over here. G for guns, obviously, but YouTube. So how are you going to acquire those now and later? Ammo, band-aids, same thing. Band-aids, you could do however these two you want. I couldn't think of a good subcategories for band-aids. You could probably do 4 or 5 subcategories for band-aids. So tourniquets, bleed stops, all kinds of things. There's a million things. And then also, so how are you going to acquire things now and later? And then also, to what degree are you going to be acquiring these things? So acquiring these things now and later. So now and later, running out of room. What's the best case scenario that you will be acquiring these now? And then what's the worst case scenario that you'll be acquiring it now? And then, of course, apply to everything. And then also things you have to consider is upkeep and acquisition. Upkeep and acquisition. So for water, you really don't have to, it's a little different for each section, but for water per se, now the upkeep of your water, you don't really have to upkeep it. Maybe keep it clean, so maybe just a cap or a lid or something for your water. So that's easy. Check done. Acquisition. Best case, worst case scenario in the now water category would be dirty water, clean water. Do you have the proper filter and things like that? How are you going to acquire these things? And then if we move over to guns, we can apply the same logic. How are we going to acquire these said things? If you had to do it now, what would it be? If you had to do it later, how would it be? And then also best case, worst case scenario of these two things. And then also upkeep of said item. And acquisition. Well, we already did acquisition. And then all these things put together, you can also work in outsourcing. Do you have teammates? Do you have family, friends? Can you rely on them to outsource things to them reliably? That's for you to decide. And then ammo, same thing. Best case, worst case scenario of your ammo. How are you going to acquire it now? How are you going to acquire it later? To what degree can you do these things at those times? And work these all into a system. You can work these onto yourself, your one person, your kit, your pockets, whatever you want, however you want to take that. You can also apply it down the road to your micro preps and major preps. So this is kind of just like a baseline thought experiment, kind of like a decision tree almost, to get the ball rolling get your mind jogging on the topics that we have here, and reach further out, broaden out. And then also I was thinking of making this a square instead of a triangle, and then adding in tools for the top, just to, because tools are obviously very important and they don't necessarily reach into these 3 other categories. But for the sake of the video, we're just doing these 3 because of the alliteration and whatnot. But you could add a 4th for a square and have tools, and then also go through the thought experiments, the branches. So I hope you guys make your own. Let me know what you think. Put it together. Maybe post your own. Yeah. So good luck out there, and thanks for watching.